In Unit 7, we're going to cover New Mexico dealer warranty law. I'm going to go over advertising regulations. We're going to talk about exporting vehicles, sales to minors, off-site sales, emissions, and out-of-state VIN inspections. So let's get right into New Mexico dealer warranty law. All used motor vehicle dealers are required to provide at least a 15-day, 500-mile warranty on all used motor vehicles sold to consumers. There is no as-is used car sales law in the state of New Mexico. So the 15-day, 500-mile warranty period ends after the 15th day or after 500 miles, whichever occurs first. If a vehicle you sold breaks down during the 15-day, 500-mile warranty period, then the customer must return the vehicle to the dealership and give you the opportunity to fix that problem. So the customer may also waive that 15-day, 500-mile warranty, but only for the problems you disclose to the customer both orally and in writing before the sale is completed. If a vehicle has mechanical problems during the warranty period, the consumer must give reasonable notice to you, the dealer, within 30 days of the date of the mechanical failure. The dealer shall have a responsible opportunity to repair that vehicle. The consumer must pay 1/2 of the cost of the first 2 repairs necessary to bring the vehicle back into compliance with the warranty. The payments by the consumer are limited to a maximum of $25 for each repair. So I do want you to be aware the maximum liability of a dealer is limited to the purchase price paid for the vehicle to be refunded to the consumer or the lender as applicable, okay, unless the dealer knew or should have known about the defect that the vehicle was on in certain circumstances in which the vehicle was acquired or sold and the seller did not disclose the defect. So that purchase agreement that I showed you a little bit earlier has to contain the following disclosure. It has to have the following text. It must say New Mexico law requires that this vehicle will be fit for the ordinary purposes for which the vehicle is used for 15 days or 500 miles after delivery, whichever is earlier, except with regard to defects that are disclosed, such as, off-road use, if the customer is racing the vehicle or towing it, or gives it abuse or misuse and neglect, if they fail to maintain regular maintenance, or if they fail to maintain adequate oil, lubricants, and things like that. But remember, the customer can also sign that opt-out information I showed you on that purchase agreement for any mechanical repairs that you and the customer agree that you will not cover. So if you do give disclosure on certain parts that you're not going to cover, then the customer is going to need to clarify and sign that on your purchase agreement. But the customer will have up to a $25 charge for each of the first 2 repairs if the warranty is violated. But I want you to be aware, if you have any other questions regarding New Mexico's used motor vehicle dealer warranty law, you can call the New Mexico Attorney General's office at 505-490-4060. Once again, that is going to be 505-490-4060, which takes us into advertising regulations. Advertising can be a really important component of your dealership. And you're probably aware, the reason that every other radio and TV ad or billboard ad is a dealer ad, because dealer ads are very, very effective in our inventory. And, if you're running aggressive advertising, then you definitely need to have vehicles on the lot, because you're going to see a lot of traffic come in, because advertising is a very effective method of selling vehicles in our inventory. But the following advertising regulations apply whether you are advertising in print, such as a newspaper. It's going to apply to radio advertising, television advertising, and all forms of internet advertising, whether you are selling vehicles on, Craigslist, Facebook, or, your own dealership website. Okay, they all mediums are going to be covered under these advertising regulations. And these regulations I'm getting ready to go over are based on Federal Trade Commission advertising standards, so they are going to be applicable to all dealers in New Mexico. Deceptive advertising is never allowed under any circumstances. And I want to give you some examples that the Federal Trade Commission has determined as deceptive dealer advertising. And these are all right there in the manual that you've downloaded as well. The use of inaccurate photographs when advertising a specific automobile is deceptive. So when you're advertising a specific automobile, you've got to have a photograph of that automobile, okay? The use of any unexplained abbreviations that are confusing or not readily understood by the general public, such as using WAC instead of with approved credit. I mean, not every person knows that WAC means with approved credit. The use of terms specially selected, valued customer, or similar terms as deceptive unless the customer, say, for example, was specifically targeted, like with the direct mail piece. It's also deceptive to use one or more asterisks in which a disclaimer confuses or contradicts the message of the advertisement. You may never falsely imply that you can sell vehicles at lower prices than other dealers because of the size of your inventory or your volume. That's unfair, and it's known as deceptive. The use of liquidation sale or closeout sale or going out of business sale, you can't use those types of sales unless you are in fact going out of business. And that's a sale that I hope you never run. But you can't run a going out of business sale unless you are in fact going out of business. And like I said, that's a sale I hope you never run. Using repossession sale, seized vehicles, or other similar terms to induce a belief that the vehicles were obtained through repossession or seizure is unfair unless those terms are true. It's also very deceptive for a dealer to offer a vehicle at a specific price and fail to make that vehicle available for sale. So if an advertised vehicle is not in your stock, then your advertisement must specify that the vehicle is not in stock and would have to be ordered, say, for example, maybe through a dealer auction. An advertisement that fails to disclose the duration of a limited time offer. If you are ever advertising a sale, you're going to have to put the beginning date of the sale and the end date of the sale in that ad, so there's never going to be any confusion about when those selling prices are actually in effect. The use of lowest prices or guaranteed lowest prices or prices lower than anyone else's or any similar terms are unfair and deceptive because we just cannot substantiate those claims. So also, comparing a price of a vehicle to the dealer's cost or the actual cost, these are inherently deceptive because it is really difficult sometimes to determine the dealer's actual net cost. Use of the term certified in connection with the sale or lease of a used motor vehicle is deceptive unless the manufacturer has an established inspection program for a pre-owned vehicle that's backed by the manufacturer's warranty and the vehicle has passed those exact manufacturer standards. So also I want you to be aware, very important, if a vehicle you are advertising is used, you must disclose the words used or pre-owned. So I want to repeat that very important statement. If the vehicle you are advertising is used, and most of us are used dealers, then you must disclose the words used or pre-owned. And of those two word combinations, I always like pre-owned a little bit better than used, but you must have those words in your advertisement. So keep this in mind. Like I said, all advertising methods and principles that we talk about are going to apply to all forms of media, whether you're selling vehicle advertising, whether you're running ads in the newspaper, radio, television, billboard, and all forms of internet, including that dealership website. So you've got to make sure that all forms of media are compliant with the Federal Trade Commission advertising regulations. Next, let's give you a brief overview on exporting vehicles to other countries. So many of us have that dealership that's on that corner lot or on that highway, and obviously that's the foundation of this industry, but you can export your vehicles to other countries. So, if you're exporting vehicles to Mexico, then they can only be exported right through the Santa Teresa port. Okay, you have to go through the Santa Teresa port. So while pickups can be exported to the interior of Mexico, a variety of other types of vehicles can be exported only to the border zone in Mexico. So just real quick, I want to give you the phone number to the New Mexico Border Authority. If you have questions about exporting vehicles to Mexico, that phone number is going to be 575-589-6501. Once again, the New Mexico Border Authority can be contacted at 575-589-6501. So if you have any questions about exporting vehicles to Mexico, definitely give New Mexico Border Authority a call. Next, I want to cover sales to minors. So the legal age at which a person becomes competent to enter into a contract in the state of New Mexico is 18. So no person under the age of 18 years of age can purchase or sell a vehicle in New Mexico without a parent, legal guardian, or another person that has legal custody, unless that person is defined as what we call an emancipated minor. An emancipated minor is defined as any person 16 years of age or older who has entered into a valid marriage or who is on active duty with any branch of the United States Armed Forces or has received a declaration of emancipation from the Children's Court of the district in which that person resides. So the emancipated minor must present the original or certified copy of the minor's marriage certificate or the court order of emancipation. So just remember that needs to be on record. But A contract to purchase a vehicle signed by anyone that's younger than 18 and is not an emancipated minor is invalid and may be voided. So, if you sold a vehicle to a person that was not old enough to do the contract, they can actually recover all the money paid. So worst case scenario, let's just say, for example, you sold a 17-year-old kid a motorcycle for $5,000 and he drives it down the road and wrecks it and totals it out. Well, unless he's an emancipated minor, he could bring that vehicle back to your dealership and you'd have to give him his money back, and you would have to take the damaged vehicle back, and you'd have no legal recourse because you did a transaction with somebody that was not of legal age to do a motor vehicle transaction. So unless your customer is an emancipated minor, you certainly want to make sure that all customers are at least 18 years of age. Let's talk about off-site sales. Now, everyone, you're probably aware of this because you've been a dealer probably for many years, but when you're selling vehicles to your customers, you have to sell them at your licensed location only, okay? So when you're doing a retail sale to a customer, it's got to be at the licensed location only. If you've got a customer on the other side of the town and they found a vehicle that you've got on your website and they tell you, hey, I can't make it across town to see that vehicle at your dealership, can you take it over here and show it to me at this parking lot by this gas station? You absolutely cannot do that. That's selling your vehicle at a non-licensed location. So we're always having retail sales only at our licensed location, unless you're selling vehicles to other dealers at dealer auctions. But the state of New Mexico does allow a dealer to participate in what we call an off-site sale. Okay, that might be like a tent sale or something like that. A New Mexico licensed dealer, though, before offering a vehicle for sale at a temporary off-site location like a tent sale, has to apply to the department and obtain an off-site permit. So all temporary off-site locations shall be identified prominently by signs identifying the names of the New Mexico licensed dealers that are participating in that event. And it's got to be of sufficient space to permit the safe display of vehicles or any vessels that you're offering for sale. But I just want you to be aware of this. If you have somebody invite you to participate in, say, for example, a tent show next week, you want to make sure it is legally sanctioned by the state. So I would definitely contact, the Dealer Licensing Bureau. If you have any questions about how to participate in a legally sanctioned off-site sale, you can call the Dealer Licensing Bureau at 505-383-2316. You want to make sure you never, ever participate in an off-site sale unless that show is sanctioned by the state. So definitely stay in contact with the Dealer License Bureau, and they'll let you know whether or not that tent show is basically legally sanctioned, okay? I want to briefly cover emissions testing for Bernalillo County. So, emissions testing is going to be required of motor vehicles that are registered or going to be commuting in Bernalillo County. So, all motor vehicles that are less than 35 years old, up to 10,000 pounds gross vehicle weight, must pass an emissions test every 2 years and at change of ownership. So let's repeat that. All motor vehicles less than 35 years old, up to 10,000 pounds, must pass emissions test every 2 years and at change of ownership. So gas electric hybrid vehicles are also required to be tested every 2 years and can be tested at any certified air care station. So only dedicated electric vehicles and diesel vehicles are exempt from emissions testing. There's a couple of other exemptions I'll talk about here in just a moment. But here, if you're in that area, you're familiar with this form. This is the emissions test certificate, okay? But like I said, there are some other exemptions on emissions testing, such as vehicles that are sold between licensed dealers. So, when you're selling your vehicles at the dealer auctions, you don't have to have that emissions check. But also electric vehicles are going to be exempt. Vehicles that are 35 years of age or older, and vehicles that are less than 4 years of age. Vehicles are not going to be operated on any roadway, such as a combine or any type of agriculture implements that aren't going to be operated on any roadway. But, if you have further information, if you're in the Albuquerque or Bernalillo County area, then you can contact 505-764-110 for any testing program. So definitely make sure you're compliant with those laws. Out-of-state VIN inspections. You're probably aware of this by now, but when you purchase a vehicle with an out-of-state title, that vehicle must pass a VIN inspection before it can be issued a New Mexico title. Now, I want to repeat that. When you purchase a vehicle with an out-of-state title, the vehicle must pass a VIN inspection before it can be issued a New Mexico title. So You're probably aware of this, but a lot of times when we're buying vehicles at dealer auctions, it's pretty rare when you come home with a New Mexico title. And something that could lead to this, let's just say, for example, the Enterprise rental facility out of Dallas, Texas, gets 300 cars off of some 2-year rental program. Well, they will always sell those through dealer auctions. But before they decide on the dealer auction they're going to sell that through, they're going to do a little bit of market research. And if they find out the Manheim, New Mexico in Albuquerque's prices are going a little bit higher than the Dallas Manheim or the Los Angeles Manheim or something like that, then they're going to ship 200 or 300 cars off of that rental program to the New Mexico Manheim next week. So, 1 week you might come home with a whole bunch of Texas titles, and then maybe you come home from the Manheim, New Mexico in a couple weeks with a whole bunch of California titles or Colorado titles. So you're probably aware when you're purchasing vehicles at New Mexico dealer auctions, you are going to buy a lot of vehicles that do have out-of-state titles. So if you do, you just have to make sure that they do have a VIN inspection. So the mileage that's recorded on the VIN inspection must be taken directly from the vehicle and not from some previous title or sales document. So you must obtain that original out-of-state title. A copy of that out-of-state title is not going to be acceptable. But, you're probably aware of this as well, but you can become your own VIN inspector. The Dealer License Bureau administers the Civilian VIN Inspector Program. And certification classes are provided for employees of New Mexico motor vehicle dealers as well as dealers themselves. You might have a salesperson or a mechanic take this class, but they have to be sponsored by a currently licensed company like a dealership. So VIN inspector applicants must also pass a background check, including tax compliance. But if you have questions on how to become a VIN inspector, you can call 505-226-9333. Once again, that's 505-226-9333 if you have any questions about how to become a VIN inspector. So, hey, we have completed Unit 7, and I want to give you that reminder. You can always review these training videos at any time after you've completed the course. Just go to NewMexicoDealer.com. Once again, that's NewMexicoDealer.com. Click on the dealer videos link at the top of the page, and you'll be able to view all these videos again in their entirety. So let's move on to Unit 8.